I think I've been pretty vocal about this, that I haven't had a car in 10 years. 10 years, I haven't had a car. I always wanted a Mercedes. I always had like in high school, I had like the worst car in high school. I went to this, I got a scholarship to this, private high school in Miami Country Day. Shout out to the Spartans out there. And I had my mom's old jalopy that she gifted to me. The color was rust, and it was the nickname was Blinky because one headlight was up and one was down. It was just like this mess of a car. And then when I went to college, I got another car, and I was doing food deliveries, and the car would always break down. It was a mess. So finally, when I started to make a little bit of money, I said, I always wanted a Mercedes, bro. I always wanted a Mercedes. I had just turned 30, and I probably was 27, 28 when I really started making money. At that time, I had made 6 figures, which was cool for me. So I said, all right, I'm going to get a car. And my buddy was actually selling his old Mercedes. It was an older Mercedes, but it was my roommate in college, and I loved this car. And I bought the car off of him. I go, how long is this car going to last? Because it had 100,000 miles on it. 2 years, bro. 2 years.
2 years?
That's what he said.
What?
He said, I've had the car.
Oh, he said it'll last 2 years.
It'll last 2 more. The car was already 10 years old.
Oh, yikes.
And it had 100,000 miles on it. It was an older Mercedes, but I loved his car.
Yeah.
And 1 year in,
No.
highway, drama. I'm like, fuck this. Thing's the worst. I ended up selling the car for like $3,000 and I said, let me see how long I could go without having a car. And that summer was the summer that my boy, Chris Humphries, married Kim Kardashian.
Oh,
and I was out there in LA doing the whole Kardashian thing. I'll save those details for another time, but I was in LA for the summer, okay? We were going to Mexico. We were living our best life. I had literally had drivers. It was pre-Uber. And it was awesome. So I came back to Florida. I said, all right, I haven't had a car in 2-3 months. Let's see how long I could go. All right, I was taking the train. I was just doing what I could without a car. 10 years later, I haven't had a car, right? So I've saved a ton of money. I've invested a ton of money, right? And things are doing okay. Now, since then, Uber and Lyft is everywhere. Instacart. During COVID, you ain't going anywhere. So it's treated me very well. Now, this doesn't work for everybody. Like people say, because I lived in downtown Miami, and everything was around me, and anywhere I needed to go,
of course,
I would Uber there.
It was convenient.
And obviously I have like inroads, and I have friends in the nightlife business. I would go and meet them. I'd be drinking. The last thing I'm going to do is trying to catch a DUI.
Right.
Like, I think I was the only one of my friends in college that I lived with, like it was a group of guys from Miami, the only one that didn't get a DUI. So I've seen the DUI thing happen.
Yeah.
It's actually absurd these days that people get DUIs with freaking Uber out there and Lyft. Like, dude.
So many options.
$10,000 is what it costs for a DUI, and you're worried about a $30 Uber? What are we talking about now?
Yeah.
So, point is, I haven't had a car in 10 years. And what I always talk about is, all right, so it's not just the car payment. Do you know the average car payment for a new car in America?
$400?
It's over that. It's over $550 for a new car. For a used car, the average car payment is $400. But it's more than just the car payment, right? It's the gas. It's the insurance. It's the maintenance. It's the repairs. It's the taxes. It's the tolls. It's the fees. It's the registration. It's the parking. It's the God forbid you get a DUI. All that. And it just adds up. So I saw this article. I said, you know what? This article basically is what I'm talking about here. So if you're paying $500 for your car as a monthly payment, that's $500. So that's $6,000 a year in car payments, okay? But this article right here says the true cost of ownership for a new car is $10,000 a year. The true cost of ownership, when you add up everything, car payment, the depreciation, the interest, the insurance, the maintenance, the gas, and that's just if everything goes according to plan. God forbid you get in an accident or a flat tire or a DUI, it goes up from there. So the average car ownership, they call it the TCO, the true cost of ownership, is $9,666, just shy of $10,000. So every year, AAA conducts a survey to determine the true cost of car ownership. In 2020, the number was $9,500, and now this year it's 96.66. So it's going up, and it's only going to go up. So
My days.
Oh.
yeah, this is what happens right there. Some Patrice
Check
goes
the
lose that
comments,
money.
dude, no.
My
Patrice
guy.
in the house.
Patrice in the house, our guy. So that's the point. And then, so I ask yourself, 10 years ago, the thought of not having a car was unfathomable.
Yeah, insane.
You need to get to work. You need to go places. You need to go get the groceries. You need to do everything you got to do. You got to run errands. These days, with a lot of people living in cities, right? Obviously, if you live out in the country, you're going to need something, maybe,
Yeah.
Living in cities, Amazon deliveries, Instacart, COVID, shutdowns, things not being open, you not wanting to be around people, cars are a little bit, I would say, overrated at this point. Yeah? I don't know. It all depends. Never was there a time before that you didn't necessarily have to have a car. Now, you might be saying, I live kind of far from work. I can't do this. I get it. But never in the last, 50 years has it not been this easy to not have a car. That's my point. You have a car.
Yeah.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, so David, what time you getting out of here?
Yeah.
And obviously,
So it would be your benefit if I were to keep my car.
yeah, for me.
Just kidding.
Anyway, but the true cost of ownership is
No, that's ludicrous.
about
man.
$10,000 a year. So if you make 50 grand a year, 20% of your income is going to your car. 20%. It's a lot of
A lot of dough.
It's a lot of dough to roll around in style. Anyway, so and then when I saw this article, this is from Value Penguin. It's basically
Value Penguin.
Value Penguin, not Valuetainment.
Valuetainment's mascot right there. Value Penguin.
Value Penguin, shout out. So when I saw this article, I said, all right, if the car payment is the most expensive, what's the next? And then car insurance was there. So I broke it down like this. It says these are the states that have the most expensive car insurance, and these are the states that have the least expensive cost for car insurance. So now I don't want to go through all 50 of them, but let's just go through the top 5. Can we do that?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Top 5. Here we go. Let's start from the 5 on up. The 5th most expensive state is Missouri at $1,895 a year for car insurance. Number 4, California, $1,966 a year. Number 3, here in Florida, $2,082 a year in Florida.
My
Third
God.
most, just for car insurance,
Yeesh.
$3,000. Michigan, number 2, $2,100. And number 1, this is by far, it's not even freaking close. It blows everything else out of the water. Oftentimes, because they are getting blown out of the water, it's Louisiana with $2,800. Okay, that's obviously has to do with hurricanes and things that happen there. That I assume that's the situation there with Louisiana. So if you're in those states, and you're spending almost $3,000 on car insurance, that's literally what I spend a year on Uber. Just to put it in perspective, okay? I spend about
I've always wondered.
yeah.
I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
eventually, like, is it actually
Yeah.
way less than having a car? And
Well,
all
keep
that?
in mind, when I was working from home, like a lot of people are, before I was coming into Valuetainment every day, I was working from home. I've been working remote for 5-6 years. I spent maybe $100 a month on Uber. A month.
Holy.
A month. Because I worked from home. I lived in a nice condo. My
Yeah.
gym was in the condo. Like, I lived downtown Miami. Anywhere I needed to go, the Miami Heat Arena to go to Heat games or the museum, it was all right there, downtown. Like, if you live in New York City, you understand what I'm talking
No,
about.
I lived in downtown Miami. I know
Okay, exactly.
what
You
it's
lived at
like.
Biscayne,
Yeah.
exactly. So it was very easy. I would Instacart, I would Amazon. I literally spent no money. The only time I would go out, and I'd go out, hit South Beach, go out, I would Uber. But even if I had a car, I'd still be Ubering.
Right.
Like, I'm still going out drinking. I'm not going to
Yeah.
Uber to the club. I'm sorry, I'm not going to drive to the club. I'm going to Uber. Anyways, if you're in those states and you live close to work, maybe you're about that Uber life. You save that money. Now let's get into the bottom 5 states. And these are the states that, hey, maybe I'll keep my car because car insurance, not that
bad.
expensive here. Least expensive. So this is number 5. Number 5 least expensive is Ohio. It's $992.
What? I knew it was going to be some state like that.
Yeah, well, there was more that came from, buddy. Ohio, $992.
Here we go.
Number 4 least expensive, Idaho, $985. Number 3 least expensive, Wisconsin, $938. And then number 9, New Hampshire, $885. And then do you want to guess the least?
I'd rather just stay. And
do you
want
to guess the least expensive state out there? Any guesses out there? The least expensive state?
Kentucky.
Arizona.
Nope. My main man, Maine, $880. Maine is the cheapest state for car insurance. So that's that. That's little Saz tip, little 2 cents for you. Cars are damn expensive. They are depreciating assets. And now more than ever, you might want to consider ditching the car and doing that Uber life. You know that song that goes, Uber, Uber, Uber everywhere,
Yes.
Uber everywhere, Uber everywhere. When that song came out, I'm like, this is me.
Dude!
This is me.
Talk is money. All we talk is money.
If you enjoyed that short clip from the Sozcast, click here to watch another. Click here to watch the full episode, or just stay broke.